So the other side of emotional clarity, because if you're thinking of it on a continuum, is emotional clouding, where we can't see the sky for the trees, where we're totally unaware of what's going on, why we're feeling the way we are, what's triggered us, and we are just reacting rather than responding. Action precedes thought, and we always think, why did I do that afterwards? And so your emotions can easily cloud your judgment. And the more intense the emotions are, the more your judgment um, may grow and be more clouded. And so it's important that we understand your best decisions are made when there is careful balance between emotions and logic. And so when we are able to do that, when we're able to take a step back and ask ourselves, is this the right path I'm on? Is what I'm doing the thing that I really want to be the end and the outcome of this situation? And so it's really important that we be able to take a stop, a break, and assess things and assess ourselves and ask ourselves, is this really lining up with my values? Is this the way that I really want to be seen by other people? Is this the way that I really want to present myself to other people? And these things are really important, because if we are continuously clouded by our emotions, then we will never show up as our best version of ourselves. So I want to introduce you to a model known as the three-legged stool model. And it's a very simple tool, but very effective in helping us to understand how we're doing things and if we're doing it in the right way. So with this stool, there is three legs and they're all perfectly balanced. So we've got the thinking, we've got the emotions, and we've got the behavior. And when all three of these are perfectly balanced, it means the person sitting on the seat, i.e. your relationships, will always be stable. What tends to happen at times is that the emotional stool or leg of the stool can often grow because we're driven, we're influenced, and the emotions are in the driving seat. So they're taking the front seat and they're holding the others captive. And when that happens, the thinking leg shrinks and it becomes unstable. And when that happens, we often are doing things based on emotions, so whether that's anger, fear, anxiety. And whenever emotions are heightened, thinking diminishes, logic diminishes. And so our behaviors then will be reflective of our emotional state. And when we come back to our senses and it starts to balance it out, that is when we're riddled with guilt, shame, frustration, and all the other things that come because action preceded thought. And so it's really important that we just understand and recognize the combination between these three and how they play out. And so when emotions are high, your reasoning becomes low and your behavior can be severely affected. And I'm sure we've all got experiences of where we've done that. But on the flip side of it, when there is a healthy balance between your emotions and your reasoning, behaviors tend to be more pro-social. And so we can't just be all thinking and not emotions, because when we do that, you can be right, but not do things the right way. Yeah. So some people say, well, I'll just say my truth. And it's like, yes, you can be clear, but be kind. And so it's about having the balance between our thinking and our emotion. And when they're balanced, it means our behaviors will be more pro-social. And so a key thing that for all of us to remember is that between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So whenever anything happens, there is the stimulus, there's that thing that's triggered you, and then there is your response. But in between that, there is a space, and it's what we choose to do in that space. So after every first thought you have, consider the second thought you have. because that is what would trigger either the beast within when you become emotionally driven, or where you say, let's take a step back, let's examine what's going on here. How do I want to address this?